Like I have so many strategies in my head and entries that I can trade. But what I really need to do is pick one and focus on it in a
Entire
couple days.
months, the
Yeah.
whole month.
Yes.
Because it's like I have no problem taking a 7-point winner, but I will happily take that 11-point loss.
Yes. There's a reason why we let our losers run, and it's because you at all times your body is trying to put you in the most comfortable position. When you're in profit, the most comfortable position is for you to realize that profit and make it yours.
And I literally I couldn't have been happier. And it's just that little maybe mindset shift for me today is going to be like something I'm going to work towards with these trailing drawdown accounts, because I think this trailing drawdown is it's getting the best of me.
This is Behind the Charts podcast, where real traders have real conversation. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. ES is trading at all-time highs today. We are setting new records, breaking new highs. Really interesting how the bull run that in 2024 that took us 12 months to gain 1,300 points took us only 2 months in this most recent recovery. We're going to cover this. We're going to cover all of just what's going on in our trading this week and how are we managing the markets, because it's definitely not an easy time to trade. So with that all being said, Christine and Randy, you guys are now doing some streaming on YouTube and X and whatnot. So how are you finding it? And is it different from the streams that you guys have done in the past? Or, how is it affecting your trading, Randy?
It's so what I thought was going to be, it's going to eventually be fun. Like I don't want to sound like a pessimist off the bat. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I think it's because I was streaming on ASFX, a few times a week for the last few months, but I was just there streaming. So I was enjoying being held accountable and thinking about my trades and the interaction with everybody, but I wasn't actually running the process of streaming. Where now it's Christine and I are doing this live stream, and on Sunday we decided we'd do like a little soft launch and play around with it. And before you knew it, we were live and people were watching us. And we had nothing set up, and we weren't even planning on trading. We were just talking, and it was just, it's weird. There's more of an added pressure when it's your stream, and so I don't know if Christine feels the same way I do. I just feel, and I struggled with this the prior week where I tried being cute and just having some fun with Austin, and a couple people followed me on the trade, and it was not a good trade. And I felt, accountable that, here I am, these people are watching us trade. And so I want to definitely with the stream, I'm trying to hold myself to a higher, there's no full porting. I don't do any of that stuff on stream. Maybe the odd time with the combine, I might just do it for fun, but it'll be full disclosure that this is what I'm doing. But it's so coming into that mindset with the stream and then having 2 days in a row of just tough losses. So the first day one of the stream, I took 2 losses. Day 2 of the stream, I took 2 losses. So it was just back-to-back loss. And now I have people watching me. I'm on a stage. Am I a bad trader? What am I doing? All those emotions. And then today I had better trades, so I felt much better about it. But I think for me, reading the comments in the chat and seeing people just, appreciating the transparency. And then obviously Christine and I have been trying to, hold each other accountable with our own trading. And it's hard to do it when I'm on stream and we're in a conversation on Discord, like the 3 of us. So this is just, now Christine and I can she questions me on my losing trade. She questioned me before I even took the trade, and I still took it. But at least she was there to question me.
So how is it for you, Christine, being on stream with somebody and where you have differing opinions and you're also trying to trade your own system? Because we've been in the live room trading together, and it's almost comical how often we're fading each other in some way. And just how are you managing that?
It's interesting, that's for sure. I mean, it's not my stream. I don't have any of the technical backside of it, so I'm just, show up with a smile on my face and get to have some fun. But it's interesting because I do find if Randy's in a trade, I want to be in a trade, because we trade so similar. So I do have to check that a little bit, and I'm sure that'll be a learned process. But even talking about like, oh, people are long, and I'm like, ooh, I think I want to be long too. It's like, did I want to be long, or is it just, the mob mentality where you get everyone looking at the same thing and you think that it actually looks good, even though you maybe weren't even seeing it like that before. I don't know if Randy and I have we faded each other yet.
I don't think so.
Not yet. I mean, it's literally only been 2 days, so maybe that will come, because I do know Thomas and I have faded each other, and it's actually shocking to us sometimes when we're on the like same side of a trade. But it's very interesting to see that. But yeah, it's been good. It hasn't slowed me down. Let's just say that. Everyone was saying, "Oh, it kind of controls your trading." It has not done that to me, unfortunately. So I will continue, apparently, just trading like I normally do, whether it's in front of people, a bunch of people, or it's not. Which I don't know if that's a good thing, but it is what it is. So.
Well, that's great. Let's get into it because do you feel like you need to slow down? Because I know there was a time where you were pretty much doing one trade a day, whether that was
Mhm.
winning or losing. And we all kind of understand this two trade rule on the losers, then you miss out. And
Mhm.
so how do you feel like you need to slow down, or are you just kind of finding your next groove?
I think a little bit, not necessarily with the number of trades, because I do believe, like, if you were to give yourself a limit of 1 to 2 trades a day, I think that is very successful. You've heard lots of very good traders say, "Do do that." It didn't necessarily work for me, or hasn't yet. Maybe I just don't have the discipline for it. But I did have a coaching call today, so this is a great time to talk about our podcast, this kind of stuff on the podcast. But what I need to slow down is my of entries. So I've really come to realize, and this at the risk of sounding like a total pretentious asshole, I can trade a lot of strategies. I literally I feel like I've almost forgotten the amount of strategies like a new trader knows. Like, I have so many strategies in my head and entries that I can trade, but what I really need to do is pick one and focus on it. Instead of, I did a tally of my entries this month, and it was 6 different styles
Mm.
of strategy, 6 different entries, and I think there was one I didn't even include. So 6 to 7 different entry strategies that I could play on any given day. And unfortunately, you're just not going to perform well on all of those equally. That's too many. Just because I know them in my head doesn't mean I need to trade them every day. So what I'm doing is not necessarily saying, okay, I can only take 2 trades a day. What I'm doing is saying I can only take one strategy a day. I'm only going to trade one strategy for the month of July, and see if I can kind of specialize my skills on that. Just like I've specialized my skills on ES, watching one chart. I need to just watch one single entry. And I'm not talking about going long or short. I'm talking about, for me, it's going to be VWAP trades. I'm not going to do high of day, anchored VWAP. I'm not going to do low of day. I'm not going to do reversion. I'm not going to do my range trade. I'm not going to do a 1 minute or 5 minute opening range trade. I'm not going to do news plays if I can. Try to stop me though. I'm just going to focus on trading the VWAP. Like, my entries need to be as close to the VWAP as possible. So that's how I'm like pulling back rather than limiting myself to 2 trades a day.
Let's break it down just a little more from the coaching perspective.
Mm-hmm.
On the call, how did you guys get to concluding that let's focus on one trading setup in the day?
So basically, my coaching call is with Austin. Some of you know him. But I mean, any coach, a second pair of eyes. You literally go through, we went through all my trades. I just pulled up my markups. So he's on the other end, not having been the person that's taking the entry, and he's seeing all the trades. So I think and he might have to answer this, but from his point of view, he could see quickly what trades were more profitable or what would have been more profitable, and then what was holding me back. So he basically said, go through the month and playbook your trades, which I hadn't done, by the way. That's such an underrated thing to do, is playbook your trades monthly. It'll change monthly sometimes, but you should do it every month. And basically that was the highest trade that I did take. So I had 11 or 19 VWAP trades, and right now I have a 58% win rate on those. So assuming that I cut a bunch of my other ones that had more like 25%, I can focus on it and try to bring that win rate up. But that was kind of the process. Basically, him seeing that clearly one was doing better or could do better, and then getting me to back that up with data.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So Randy, how's your trading week going?
It's been tough. It's been, I think, the pressure of just trading on stream, and we've had some really, really tough days behind us or this week, just with chop and
Choppy days.
small opening ranges and just getting stuck in things. And again, I'll just go back to the very first trade I took on stream on Tuesday morning was pure FOMO. And I took it because I wanted to be in a trade on stream. And I just pictured like Monday, price pushing higher. And this was just going to be one of those easy longs. And it did the complete opposite. As soon as I entered, it turned around on me and I got stopped out. And it just led me into managing the second trade poorly because, again, I didn't want to lose on stream. And so I basically got tapped out at break even on the second trade when it would have went to full TP, because I lost confidence in front of a stage of people now that I didn't believe in myself. And that spilled over into the next day. And then today, last night actually, I just started reading, believe it or not, The Best Loser Wins. I'm not
You
an
haven't read
Audible
it?
guy. I'm a book guy.
What?
Yeah, and I was never a book guy. I was always a podcast person, but I've never done Audible books, and I started reading books when I started to trade, so it's just something I like to do before bed, and I just read the first, I think, like 4 pages last night. It's like the preface, like where he talks about the love story that he had with the markets,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second one where he talks a little bit more about himself. And I just came into this morning saying, I watched that video on that trailing drawdown strategy. I talked to Nick Jocelyn about his strategy, and if it's this trailing drawdown, it puts a lot of pressure on you. Anybody trading trailing drawdown, it's not easy, and they know it. You times that by 7. I'm copy trading 7 accounts. You just put 7 times the amount of pressure on yourself. $100 loser turns into a $700 loser. You do that twice, you have a $1,500 losing day. Like, it's, for me, at the end of the day, the P&L still, when I show it, because I'm transparent about my trades, when I put them on my socials, I'm still showing a $2,000 loss. Whether it was $150 and or $300 in 7 accounts or something, I'm still showing the total P&L. So it still stings. But I came into this morning saying, I'm going to try this, win or lose. And the first trade I took, I set my brackets in Project X to be minus 250 to stop me out, or plus 250 to take profit. Soon as I hit execute on the trade, at first I was almost terrified. I was 10 micros in this account that I don't ever trade more than 5, usually 3 micros. Mm. And then I realized when I saw on screen that worst case scenarios, I'm going to lose $250 on this trade. And it just changed something. And then it's like Tom Hoogar, I'm not even into the book, but just the concept of being the best loser and like this is the trade I'm in, I'm going to take it. Worst case scenario, I'm down 250. Forget the 7 accounts. I'm not multiplying this by 7. I'm trading this one trade, $250. And the trade ended up, the news came in and it hit. But I took profits at $200, which I never would have done before. I would have just held on to the trade, wanting the 500 or the 600. And it felt extremely satisfying to like have, it's almost like having rules set that you can't change, like risk settings, and having your TP hit, where I would have had my TP 10 points higher in case price popped. And the pin did go 5 points above my TP, so I would have doubled my P&L. But at the end of the day, what if it went the other way and I got stopped out on a wick? I'm only down 250. Like, would I have been mad that, the pin went 5 points below my stop and I could have been out 500? I would have been, no, I'm
Yeah.
stoked. I'm out 250, right? So why am I going to be upset that I'm not up 500 and I'm up 200? And I literally I couldn't have been happier. And it's just that little maybe mindset shift for me today is going to be like something I'm going to work towards with these trailing drawdown accounts, because I think this trailing drawdown is it's getting the best of me.
Hmm.
And it's once I lock it, maybe, because now yesterday I was $600 in trailing draw, like my drawdown was burnt, and then today I'm down $100, which to me, like it's as soon as I get back, like I'm so worried about losing a bit of my trailing drawdown, when at the end of the day I just got to think and trade my strategy. And if I keep my risk settings to where, and my risk to where it should be, that trailing drawdown shouldn't matter, if
And
that
so
makes
for
sense.
anyone who's trading a trailing drawdown account, I personally don't even know what the max limit. So what's the max limit that you're allowed to lose or in the trailing in one day? And then how are you position sizing in
So
relation
there's
to
no
that amount?
daily loss. There's no daily loss limit with trailing drawdown.
Okay.
So I start the day with $2,000 a drawdown. I
Per
like
account.
say it's a brand new account, a 50K account. I have $2,000 of drawdown in the account before I hit max loss and it's blown. If I get into a trade and it runs on me to plus $1,900 now and comes back to minus 100, that's 2,000. The account's blown. So it's the next day, as long as you can keep like the what I'm trying to do with having these small $250 losses is that even if price did take off on me, either I'm going to hit my stop or going to hit my take profit, or it's going to come back on me and it's going to be that much plus. So worst case scenario, I'd be out $500 on that trade. If it went to basically a tick prior to taking TP and then pulled all the way back on me and I got stopped out, I would be out 500 versus holding on to it for 10 points and letting it go back on me for 1,000 or something. Like it's
So basically your position size doesn't even allow for the trailing drawdown to come into play because the most you're swinging is $500.
exactly.
Interesting. So then let me ask you this. Why are you so focused on taking 3 points or, like why are you trading these accounts differently when seemingly to me, you're just trading, it's like the same, it would be the same as trading any other account.
Because I don't think I would ever take so Nick, who I've been speaking with, trades his accounts like with that 3 point, 1.5 to 3 points of profit to 1.5 to 3 points of stop. So he's within 3 to 6 points, let's call it, per trade, top to bottom. Basically scalping. And that's how he treats his copy traded accounts. Because over scale, if he takes even $50 out of each trade and it's over 20 accounts, it's $1,000. He's a lot more than 20 accounts. So he looks at it in that sense. When I watched this video that I just seen with Cami Capital, where he explains his tips for like not beating the trailing drawdown, because once you get to $100 over your initial drawdown, it locks, it becomes static. So the battle is going to be, if I can get to 52,100 in these accounts, my drawdown's locked. I don't got to think about this trailing drawdown. If I want to trade these things with 10-point stops, I can. I know what I
But
need
my
to do.
question is, why are you even thinking about it now? If your position size doesn't open you up to taking a $2,000 like
Well, I
trail
just started
loss.
that today. Today was my very first trade starting that. Before I would have $500 on risk and $500 take profit.
So okay, so you've sized down a little bit.
I've sized my risk down, but I've increased my size, my actual position. I've just lowered my brackets. So even if the trade turns around on me, I'm only going to get stopped out. Where before, if I was trading 10 micros and I had a 5-point stop, in my mind, I'm not giving the trade time to breathe. With the trailing drawdown, I don't want it time to breathe. I want to be in or out of the trade sooner than later, if that makes sense. So I'm not putting myself in a position where price pulls up on me. I'm up $500, then I come back and I get stopped out 500. Now I'm down 1,000 on that trade. Like you have to take into consider if you don't get your profit. You need to add your profit to your stop loss, if that makes sense. Right? So I'm not risking 250 on this trade. I'm actually risking 500 because if this goes to
240 and then back.
245 and comes back and I get stopped out, I'm down 495.
Interesting.
Right? I think, and I'm trying to wrap my head on how to beat this game again. Like, we're prop firms and we have this discussion all the time, but this game that we're playing, right?
Yeah,
So
I
for
don't think this
anyone,
account.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this account is is on the trader side. Let's just be clear on that. So it's basically trying to me, and I haven't traded it. I'm going to start trading it this week or next, but I'm trying to wrap my head around it the same. And to me, it seems like an account that you see profit, you take profit. Like, we're talking 2 green candles in your favor, just take it, because a lot of the times, why let it come back? And maybe it goes back up, maybe it turns around on you, but losing once it's gotten to a certain point, like let's say it's gone up $100, you've now lost that drawdown. Your drawdown has moved up. So to me, I think it has to be a see profit, take profit, like almost immediately. Like, this isn't going to be a let your trade play out for an hour and a half kind of account. It's going to be take a good, decent entry. And if that gives you profit 30 seconds later, then you should probably take it.
See green, take green, right? So
See green, take
Okay,
green.
so we talked a little bit about the cons. What are the pros to trading this account? Is it a larger ROI when you take a payout? Why would I choose this account over a straight to funded or a basic combine?
So basic combine, you're going to be paying more money unless you get. So if you get at the sale price right now, if you went and took a combine, passed the combine, took the time to pass the combine, paid the activation fee, you're getting this account for cheaper. So even when this account's regular price, I believe it's still going to be roughly the cost of a combine and an activation fee. So you're skipping that part in itself. And then
Which is
versus a
great,
straight to
actually,
funded, instant funded
from what
account, you're
James.
paying half the price.
Yeah, 'cause just what James said last week. So if anyone hasn't listened to James' episode, he was talking about how a lot of us are maybe profitable traders, but we spend the time in the combine to making the profits. And then
Yeah.
when we go to the funded, we're not making the profits, and we're like in the drawdown period. So that maybe that's kind of what they're insinuating here.
And I mean, the account that we're talking about is with one company, but other companies have it. I mean, Apex is the one that most people know. And the big pro to that is the amount of counts you can trade. So the amount of copied accounts, basically, which also lends to the see profit, take profit. If you're taking $50 out of a trade, it doesn't feel like a lot. But when it's copied to multiple accounts, that's when you're leveraging the prop firm space, in my opinion.
So overall, it has a larger potential ROI.
The scalability, right? So
I think so, yeah.
what Christine and what it's so when we get to a point as professional day traders and we're trading personal capital, you just have more capital to trade. And basically by trading these trailing drawdown accounts or having the option to trade multiple accounts, we're just scaling up without the only way to get, if you want to talk about making massive returns in prop firm trading, is by scaling up. And by scaling up, you have to copy trade. And to copy trade, unfortunately, you have to trade these. All the firms that offer that large amount of copy traded accounts are trailing drawdown. So it's getting to that scalability where you're able to now trade 20 accounts. And like Christine said, Nick said, you take $50 on a trade. And there's some rules you got to really be careful there, because you have to be you basically, your stop has to be like 1 to 5. Like you have to take at least 20% of the trade, or else they consider it like, I don't know if it's hyper scalping or micro scalping. But if your stop's 10 point, you have to take 2 points out of the trade. You can't just take 1 point every time and have a 10-point stop. They're going to be like, that's
Really?
too much. Yeah, it's too much risk.
Where the firm will catch you and
Apex has that rule. It's like it's 1 to 5. So for
Oh
every
my
point
gosh.
for every 5 points of stop, you have to take at least 1 point out of the trade.
Interesting.
If
And I
not,
mean,
then you would set your bracket for $50 and set your stop loss for 500 and just hit buy, right? And take your chances. Like, and I bet you people probably did that. That's obviously why they have that rule.
Hmm.
Top one
and
doesn't have that rule,
no,
but
but
they
they
do
have,
have an 8 second hold.
yeah, they have other rules. Like
Yeah, they
you
have an
have to
8 second
trade
hold.
10 days. You have 7 of those days have to be $100. You have what is it, a stability rule, which
ESS score.
yep, don't understand, but that's another rule. I don't think you don't get to static drawdown until you take a payout with top one futures. So that's a thing. Like you take a payout and then you're left with, a certain amount of your static drawdown, and then you don't have to deal with trailing anymore, but it's less drawdown than you had originally. So there's lots of, like I said, these counts are not made to let you win easily.
Oh, for sure.
So then what leads you to want to buy them, Christine?
I I have not found an account that works for me yet. So on that alone, I'm willing to try different accounts, and I
Mhm.
have not tried a trailing drawdown account. Will a trailing drawdown account make me take profits quicker, therefore help me to be more green? Maybe. I tend to lean to scalping anyway. So is this an account that just fits my personality and fits my trading? Could be. I won't know until I try. I do like the amount of accounts that you can get. That's definitely a plus for copy trading. I like the idea of having a bigger payout. I think when they originally ran this deal, I didn't get the accounts then, but it was 7 accounts. So if you were trading a 50K, I think your payout at the end would have been $18,000 or something. Like it's a bigger number, just like Apex, like I think it's a $40,000 payout on 20 accounts if you make to the 2000. So it's just, there's some enticement there. Don't get me wrong. And I don't think the accounts are for everybody, but they are for some people. And if you can do them, I mean, we know who they're for. Look at Mark Ross. That guy
Great
killed
answer.
trailing drawdown. That of course, and you don't know that until you try it. But
Yeah.
no accounts are made. Like there are no easy accounts out there. They're all going to be difficult. They're all against you. You just have to find the one. Well, this is my opinion only. You have to find the one that works best for you.
Yeah.
These prop firms wouldn't be allowed around, and these accounts wouldn't be around, and all these different kinds of accounts and daily payouts and this and that and rules if they weren't making money.
No,
So there's a
yeah.
lot that unfortunate, but not for them, that goes into their marketing and how they think of these things and how they
Mhm.
come up with trailing drawdown or this promotion or stack this on top of this or a no daily payout window. Like even the way they choose to use the language is it's all marketing focused. It's a business at the end of
Mhm.
the day,
Of
right?
course.
Like
Yep.
they're running a business, and so they're finding the way to maximize their profits.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is not a non for profit, not a charity. As much as even Top Step wants to help you, and they're great when it comes to helping the traders learn how to trade. At the end of the day, their bottom line is making money off of
Yep.
traders
Yeah.
failing combines.
It's
That's
a
just the way it
cycle.
is.
It's a cycle. Like I've paid my dues. I've supported the many payouts of multiple successful traders, and it is my turn, and I'm going to step up and I'm going to start going to get paid out from the money that new traders are spending. It's a revolving cycle. They are a business. You don't have to feel bad about it. It is what it is. They're making their money. They've made this process. If they don't make money, then we don't have this opportunity. So pay
It's
your
like what
money in the
Austin always
beginning,
says. He's like,
make it
"I'm
in the end.
selling to the old version of me
Yes,
that was
exactly.
buying."
I'm ready. I'm ready to sell to the old
Well, I've
version of
never
me.
heard that one. I like that one a lot,
Yeah.
actually. I'm gonna one day, 10 years from now, maybe I'll say that. No,
I
right
think
Yeah.
now
it's
I
great,
can't.
dude. Here's a perfect example. How many times were you selling the first break of opening range low when it's bullish? Previous day New York is right underneath, and now we're buying it
Yes.
where we used to sell it. That is, for me, a perfect example of seeing huge growth in our trading. And yeah,
And if I can add to that quickly, this is the beauty of I'm starting to see the beauty of streaming is that somebody on stream today, first break of the opening range low, wanted to short it. The start of day VWAP, daily VWAP was right below it, like just, and I screamed out loud on the in the chat, like Christine was there, and I was like, I would not short this. And he still shorted it. And what did it do? Price bounced beautifully off the daily VWAP and stopped him out within a few minutes. And it was like, and he's new to trading. He's only been trading for 3 or 4 months. So I know him personally. And I was just like, I could remember how many times I did that.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
now it's like, I can just, you see it from a mile away and you're like, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean, even like trying to sell something at all-time highs. Like
Mhm.
I know you guys made some money yesterday doing it, but the price action did lean more short bias yesterday. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this is just the basic things that we used to do, and you're like, oh, the market can never go higher. It's so high, and then you get smoked trying to sell it. But maybe we can flip it on, and Christine, you can be the host for a minute and ask me about
Yeah.
my trading because I
Yeah.
definitely have a
Tell
few
me.
things to talk about.
Tell me how your week went because we have not talked. So I want to know how your week's been, how your trades have been, how you're liking Top Step because that's who you're trading with right now, as far as I know. So yeah, give me the lowdown.
Yeah, so still trading with Top Step. I committed to do two 50K XFAs this
Nice.
month, and that's all I wanted to trade. My goal was just to have one good month of trading and take a payout. So leading up until this week, statistically wise, I had my best month of trading I've ever had. I
Amazing.
still stand by I have had my best month of trading I've ever had because mentally I'm not looking at the P&L. And Randy, you touched on this earlier. I think it's something about females trading. You don't really care about the P&L as much. Christine, you never really seem to be like, oh, I made this much. Like you never really seem to be that like interested in it. So I like I kind of like put it off.
Mhm.
And it was funny. I was actually talking to my grandma about this the other day because she was asking me something about, how do you think women do in trading? And I was like, I think despite trading being a very male dominated industry, I think females are better at
Mhm.
trading in the emotional control with money. Just because men are greedy and whatnot.
Mhm.
But but like, okay, back to the trading thing.
Yeah.
This week I took two max daily loss days
Okay.
and they stung pretty bad. So yesterday was Wednesday. Tuesday I had a good day. Monday I didn't trade nothing. I didn't like anything on Monday. Tuesday I took a winner, whatever. Also, this week, because of my trading was doing so well, I decided I'm gonna put him back on the copier this week.
Right. Of
And
course.
of course, and you know
That.
what?
Yeah.
That's what happened. What am I
That
gonna
makes
do?
sense.
What
Yeah.
are you gonna do? You just accept this. And I I tried to buy it 3 times yesterday while we were at all-time highs. I saw the orders on Bookmap at 70 and there was nothing below us. We're at all-time highs. For my personal strategy, I could not be short yesterday. When I did my daily review, I was actually very happy with yesterday. Yesterday was a good day. What really stung though is the one max daily loss across two XFAs wiped out my entire month's performance. Like
Oh,
I went from plus like 1.2K to zero. And
ouch.
that
My
yeah,
heart.
it's like that
Yeah.
was what really stung.
Yes.
And what I took away from that is that I need to be more greedy with my winners.
Mhm.
I am very quick to take profits, but
Me too.
I'm not quick to pull my losses.
Mhm.
And to be fair, yesterday I was pretty quick to pull my losses. There were two losses that would have hit my full stop. I pulled them a couple points before because I could just tell they were not working, but
Mhm.
you know, I need to milk my winners for more than what I am now. And honestly, this is been like the area of my trading that I've needed to work on for like the last year, and it's the most difficult area for me to improve on, because in the moment I get so attached to the P&L and wrapped up in, and I guess it's not even this month, it's not even P&L, but it's the candles and seeing, ooh, we're at the book map resistance, and let me just pull them here and be happy with my winner. And it was working really, really well when I was just stacking base hits over and over and over again. But then one day came along and it wiped out the whole entire performance. So before I go on more, like what does that tell about me? You know, what do you guys like think about when I say that, and how can I be better after that?
This makes me think of the book that Randy's reading, and I know you've read it, Thomas, is what's it called again? How to be the
Best
best
loser win.
best loser wins. I don't know why I say how to be the best loser all the time. But there's a reason why we let our losers run, and it's because you at all times your body is trying to put you in the most comfortable position. When you're in profit, the most comfortable position is for you to realize that profit and make it yours, so you get out of your trades quicker. When you are in a loss, the most comfortable position is for you to give it a chance to get back into profit, so you let that go longer. How do you fix that? Maybe read the book again. I don't know, but that's the reason behind why we do that. I do the exact same thing, literally the exact same thing. I will take profit quick, but then I'll let my losers go like I should, because I should just let my trades play out. But then that wipes out entire months progress in a
Entire
couple days.
months, the
Yeah.
whole month.
Yes.
Because it's like I have no problem taking a 7-point winner, but I will happily take that 11-point loss.
Yes.
Happily. Yeah.
I 100% understand what you're saying. This is real. I know why it's happening. I get the psychology behind it. What I don't know is how to fix it.
I know. It's like I somehow need to like give less of a fuck about taking a
Exactly.
winner.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You got
Yeah,
to.
and that's what's so, here's another really, I was talking with Megan about it this morning. And you actually came up too, Christine, because you a while ago told me about when you got a blood test done and it showed like high cortisol levels in the morning.
Yes.
When I first met Megan, I mean, she still hates the mornings. She's not a morning person at all.
That's my kind of girl.
Yeah, but I am a morning person.
Yes.
Since trading, mornings have been the most difficult time of my day.
Interesting.
And I don't like that. Like I'm recognizing it, and like I this is it's not serving me. And I don't know why, like, but in the mornings I have like a difficulty just like getting into like the grind, like that hustle bustle that you need to be to trade. And sometimes I basically, where I'm going with this is like, if I wake up and I'm at the desk within an hour and I'm risking my money doing my job, is that somehow inhibiting me from being in the proper mindset to like let my winners run longer? And basically, I determined I probably need to wake up a little earlier, probably need to, do something like enjoyable in the morning to like get myself into more of a fluid state so that I'm not just waking up and immediately at the desk trading. Because yeah, like first thing in the morning, how great would it feel? It feels
Yeah.
great to be done working in like an hour and a half, knowing that I just locked in my profits early. But then on the flip side, when you're still executing your strategy, but you're taking the full loss instead of taking a full profit, like that, it just ruins a whole month. And then I'm like left thinking, what's wrong with my trading strategy?
So I have a question, Thomas, because sorry, Randy. I want to know, why are you day trading?
I am day trading because one, I want to travel. I
Mhm.
love traveling, and when you have a job, particularly in America, it is one, difficult to get time off. Like, they do not make it easy to get time off. They don't give you enough time off. And two, yeah, you're missing out on money. And I think for the majority of people, you know, in the average income demographic being, you're making between 40 and 70 grand a year, with the cost of housing, cost of food, everything, 1 or 2 vacations is probably baked in there if you're not spending money elsewhere. But I found the last year and a half, I've been spending a lot of money on trading and all this. But
Mhm.
more importantly for me, more than the travel, is I just want to be my own boss. I want to have control over my time. I want to be self-sufficient. When I turned like 17, 18, actually not even like when I was like 15, I started cooking, and that was my career because I wanted to be self-sufficient. I was like,
Mhm.
anything that I'm paying for, I just need to do myself, and then I'm going to save so much money that way. So that's what got me into cooking. That's what got me into like a variety of different hobbies I have. And then now it's about the income. The income is kind of the last one for me that I know I can fully have control over, but need to like figure out. So that's why I started day trading.
So let me rephrase the question because I'm trying to get to something.
Mm.
Why are you intraday trading? Why are you not? Because I know what kind of trader you are. I know that you see levels really well. Why are you not long term? And I'm talking maybe like weekly or anything past a day trading. Why are you not swing trading?
I don't know. I got into I got into day trading doing the 4-hour chart with
Mm-hmm.
15-minute executions, trading for like,
Day trading is all you know, right?
let,
Basically.
to put it simply, day trading is all I know.
I'm in the same boat as you. We and Christine have been having the same conversation. I'm in
But
the
we
exact
know,
same boat as
but
Thomas. I only know day
yeah,
trading, but I want to learn to swing trade.
but tell me, Randy, do you not know Thomas and how he trades? And do
Yeah.
you not think that this man should be swing trading?
I can't say that because I don't swing
You
trade. I
haven't
don't know
swung
how to,
lately?
but
Oh,
sorry.
Christine,
No,
what
no,
a
no. But I
fucking
agree with you,
question.
Christine. Like when I
Because
met Thomas, when I met Ak in Thailand, he's in the ASFX community with us. Anyways, I met him in Thailand. He was telling me that he was swing trading when I met him and went from intraday trading to swing trading and having some of his best trading yet.
yes.
And was trading oil and holding on to it for a week or two, doing really well, like his best months he ever had trading. And I think he's been trading for 4 years or 5 years. And he said it wasn't until year 3 that he really started to figure things out. His first three years he really struggled. So again, it feeds into that. Like everybody says, 1 to 3 years. I'm a year and almost two, going to be almost 2 years in the end of this year, and I still feel like I know nothing. So that, and then, but now he's having the conversation as he jumps in our streams with us that it almost sounds like he's going back to intraday trading. So I'll bring it up with them, but I can see where Christine's going with the question, but I can kind of see what Thomas is trying to answer is like when you come into something and learn something and you don't know anything else, it's like we just invested 2 years or a year and a half of our time learning how to day trade, intraday
But
trade,
here,
futures.
yeah, but here we
Prop
all
firms don't let you swing trade. You can't swing
not
trade,
not in futures, not
right?
in
But
futures.
I'm just like what I'm trying to say is like there
Yes,
seems to be more, like when you think about it, more roadblocks to get there. Then you're like, why did I just put 18 months of my effort trading all these combines and prop firms
but
to
Well, who
go to?
fucking cares? That's just the learning
yeah,
curve.
and it's not that.
That to me is just
Yeah,
the learning curve. And man, Christine, what a fucking
because
question.
we learn. Listen, we all learned on a strategy. Look at this strategy, the anchored VWAP. This is a swing trading strategy. He
Yeah,
swing
mine's in the
trades.
closet.
This is a whole book about swing trading, and we slammed it down into a day. And it works, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying quit day trading. I
I
am
want to
saying
be a dirty day trader. There's
You
my
know what?
answer.
Because
make money on the side with swinging. That's all I'm saying.
Because at the end of the day, the reason I got into trading is just for my own time freedom. Doesn't matter if I'm swing trading or day trading,
Yes.
it's all the same. It gives me the same freedom that I'm looking for. And one interesting note about my personality that shows itself in trade management. When I take a position, the next 10 minutes, I'm hyper focused on it.
Right.
After the 10, 15 minutes, I don't really care.
Forgotten about it.
I'm in it at that point.
Yes.
So like that bodes so well to the swing trading of like you just enter the position, your job is done, and now you check
Yes.
on it the next day, the next day.
It
You're giving me a lot to think about
it
here.
leans into you holding your trades to their full profit and not even having a take profit, but trailing if you can. It
Absolutely.
leans into you having more time freedom because checking the charts for half an hour a day is a lot less work than what you're doing now. It still gives you are your boss. You're the one that has control over what you're doing, how much you're making. You don't have to answer to anyone, and it'll make you money. I don't want to tell anyone not to day trade. I'm the same thing. I want to conquer day trading for some odd reason, but I always have to remember for me to travel the world properly, I cannot be sitting in front of a screen for 2 hours every day. I can sit in front of a screen on my iPad for a half an hour at a cafe in Italy a day. That is possible. But 2 hours in front of my 3 screens so that I can trade my funded account here and copy trade to the other account and watch this and watch that. No, I'm not going to do that. So why aren't we swing trading? And you absolutely can swing trade on accounts. You just have to go to FTMO. It's different. It's a new thing to learn.
Well, you guys, easy for you to say. I'm banned from FTMO because
Oh shoot.
I'm in the USA. Yeah.
Never mind. Scratch everything I just said.
Well, no,
Just
but
kidding.
honestly, it would just
Yeah.
be I would just open up a brokerage, and it
Yeah.
would be I would just put a couple $1,000 in Robinhood
Yes.
and take plays off that.
And doesn't mean you stop day trading, but this
Yeah,
could be
it
something that
means I'm
takes
gonna
pressure
keep.
off. Yes.
Yeah, it means I'm gonna have an XFA that I trade and do my day
Yes.
trading on an XFA, and you know, hopefully recoup my my prop firm investment, but also like
Sorry,
one
guys.
of my favorite traders is Tom Basso. I
Yes.
love Tom Basso because he's so detached from trading.
Yes.
Similar to James Bruce, fucking James. James is a swing trader.
You swing trade.
James is a swing trader at heart.
Yes.
He day trades certain assets, but I
Yes.
think James is really more of a swing trader,
Yes.
especially with the currencies and everything that he
Yes.
used to do. And Tom he's got his trading down to 15 minutes a day, and he checks his stuff.
Yeah.
If you haven't read The All Weather Trader,
I want to.
it's
Yeah.
a great book. I
Okay.
read it about a year and a half ago. It's a short read, like 200 pages, but like not like super dense pages. And it really gives a lot of insight into how he built his strategy and then how he manages it now, which is a small amount of work, and
Love that.
he has his time. He has his time to do
Hmm.
what he needs to do. And so okay, so on swing trading, should I be swing trading stocks?
I think
Is
so.
that the best asset to swing trade?
I only say that because that's all I've swung. Is that how you say it? That's all I've swung,
Yeah.
but I've never swing traded futures. I'm sure you can, and I mean, look at like someone like Tory
Adam
Trade.
Mancini.
Okay,
Or
yeah, like
So
there's lots of people that swing trade futures, and that's definitely
it's
doable.
just
my
more expensive. On like personally for me, if I swing trade futures, I would be entering like one micro with like a 50-point stop.
Right?
So like I don't know. I'd have to see. It might be like in a way, futures might be too expensive for
Maybe.
See,
me
but
to
just with
start
stocks,
swing
like,
trading.
so for me, like the whole thing of trading futures is not having to, like, people ask me how come I trade futures over stocks, and I'm like, my argument is futures are so much cleaner. It's just you're basically one asset. Now, if I'm swing trading 10 different stocks, do I need to understand the financials, the reports, the earnings, like all this stuff. Because I tried this before I got into futures. I subscribed to Alpha. I think it's Alpha stock. Anyways, just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
beautiful newsletter. I read it. I looked at all these stocks, and I still hold a bunch of stocks in my personal account, which are all like have done nothing for me. They go up and they cut. Like I don't take profits or Anyways, it's no point. But I'm just like I don't understand. For me, I would almost day trade the stocks and just trade it off the VWAP. Versus, do I need to understand? This is where we talked about this actually, Thomas. I said to Christine, let's start swing trading on the side, like on stream. Like it'll be like let's add another element to this, and because there's people on stream that want to swing trade, but here we are only trading the first 15 minutes or first 60 minutes of the market open. So I totally get it, but it's just for me, my fear, I think, and it just could just be me, is I'm putting all this extra, like I need to know Tesla's earnings are coming out. Oh, what is their EBITDA? Like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Oh, this is like the forward-looking statements and this and that. And it's like with futures, I don't day trading. I don't got to look at any of that. We look at our economical calendar, the calendar in the morning, and see what news is coming out. That's it.
Do you really need to know the EBITDA?
I don't know, but that's what I'm asking. I don't know.
I would say no.
No.
Because what Brian, like, yes, the earnings is important, but at the end of the day, we're just trading price action.
You're just trading the chart.
Shit happens.
Yep.
There's a news candle. There's a this. There's a that.
Mhm.
But like, I think more for me, and actually, swing trading might be more intimidating. Swing trading is more intimidating because there's endless tickers. There's endless, and like I was already thinking in my head, I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna know what to trade? Do I just trade the Mag 7? Do
You get a
I?
stock screener.
But I just saw Coinbase is up 50%. How do I get on that? You know, like, so it becomes. I know you just open yourself up to a new world of.
So
assets.
I only trade the Mag 7 for swing. Only trade them. I do not trade fundamentally. I trade only based on technical chart analysis, and I am talking the most basic of basic. Last year, I was literally drawing lines on the chart and trading off of that. And I think I have to go look at my brokerage account. This is how bad I am. I think I made last year. I think I made about $15,000 to $20,000. That's the only money in trading I've ever made, and that was swing trading based off
You
of.
made more money than Thomas and I.
You made 5-figure. You're a 5-figure trader.
Yeah. And here you are always
Barely.
talking about not getting a payout.
Heyo.
What? But it's different. It is different. This is why I don't talk about it. Swing trading is easy as fuck. I cannot feel proud of swing trading.
Oh,
I
but
have to
don't care
make
about
money in
that.
day trading. But listen, so and then this whole year I've almost taken off because we've had like a major move down, and because I was scared to trade a
Mhm.
margin account, I moved my account to cash. So I only trade cash. So therefore I can only go long. So I just finally got back into it. And now I am using the anchored VWAP strategy that I already know. I already do every single day. It's just on a daily chart. That's how I like it so far. Obviously, I'm still learning, so I will learn more about it, but I only look at the Mag 7. That's all I look at. And so I have a trade on in Google right now, but that's it. There's nothing else for me to take. It's not a busy time. It's not a busy thing.
Can you post a markup in our Discord chat of your Google trade, please?
I just
I'd
bought
love to see
Google
it.
for my retirement. I was like, that's a
There you
nice
go.
price. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
On a,
I'll do it.
on a side note, I actually just listened to the last Thomas. Did you listen to the All In podcast?
Dude, I bought it
Okay.
I'm like,
What'd you buy?
I bought Google.
Oh, you
So they
bought
talk-
Google. Sorry.
I was basically I just put some money into my Roth. I wanted to add some more stocks and whatnot. So I was like, I got Apple, I got this one. I was like, what? I need to buy one more stock. And then as I'm listening to it, they're giving their stock predictions. I'm like,
Oh, what is
all
their
right, well,
prediction? Tell me. I
So
didn't hear it.
but it's not even the prediction. They just talk about how the next 2 to 5 years, the Mag 7, and then the other 493 stocks in the S&P, there's going to be like a like it's going to be out of the Mag 7, all 7 can't keep doing what they're doing.
Right.
There's going to be losers. So they're trying to like justify picking their losers and winners. And then out of the 493 other stocks, there's going to be some real losers. Like they're not going to be ahead in
They
the AI
said
race and everything else.
oh my god, they like the 493 stocks did like 12% in
Yeah.
like the last 5 years or something. But it was Tesla, Google, and then the guy the guest Thomas, he said
Yeah.
Nvidia. Those were the top 3. And I personally I would myself add in Microsoft because I
Mm,
think Microsoft and OpenAI is going to eventually
yeah.
merge and be more cohesive and maybe have an acquisition with another company. But
Yeah.
And they talk about how like Apple is not is just a cash cow. They're not
yeah,
innovating anymore. Like I can't remember how much of Apple's revenue comes from their AirPods alone. Like
three
Mm,
they're not.
times OpenAI's whole revenue is just
It's just
generated off Apple AirPods.
so basically like look at Siri. If you have an iPhone, I have an iPhone. Siri can't do jack squat for you. And here you are, you can ask your chat, you can ask Claude, Gemini, all these things can do a million things better. So it's like it's just really it's a definitely interesting listen, Christine, especially if we're going to
yeah.
start looking at swing
Yeah,
trading and these kind of things. It's
Yeah.
gives you a different perspective because for it's not going to be the Mag 7 forever. These companies
No.
can't just keep going. There's going to be some losers in this race, and we're
And they
getting to that
will,
point in the next few years.
yeah, they'll kind of rotate, right? It's not going to like, you might have a Mag 7, but it might not be the current Mag 7
yeah, and if anything,
a
it's
year
more like
from
the
now.
Mag 6 now with
Yeah.
Tesla, doing its own
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And you don't have to trade all the stocks. Pick ones that you watch, like pick 8, pick 4. Like you're not going to have an entire year, you may have like 4 to 8 trades. You don't
So
need to be trading all the time.
what do you guys think in the next, I don't know, few months, or we'll come up with it? So I was saying to Christine Thomas that I wanted to do kind of a personal futures account trading it. Why don't we put a little bit of money each in or something and trade some and do some swing trading?
Fuck it,
I'm
I'm
already doing
so
it.
in. I'm so in.
Even
I've
if it's
been putting this
500 or
off for
1,000 bucks
too
something, let's
long.
just play with something together as a group and
Yeah.
bounce ideas around. And Christine's going to say, I'm going to be long this, and Thomas wants to be short this, and I want to be something like,
I'm not shorting nothing. I
Yeah.
am not
No.
shorting
Take
nothing.
that back.
And not in this economy either. I'm like when we were in LA with David, he talked about maybe it was at the first one, I don't know which one it was, but he talked about like doing a deep dive report into like the Dutch tulip mania, into all of these little things, and which gives insight into traders. I want to do a deep dive into how this most recent recovery is different from the
Right.
12-month bull run, because I asked Austin on stream yesterday. He very bluntly just said different presidents, but it's more than that.
yes,
It's
100% it is.
it's a lot more than
100%.
that. And what it tells me is that despite our American president being kind of a loose cannon in many ways, money is still pouring into America at
Pouring.
rates we have not seen before.
Yeah.
So I don't want to touch a short on any, because I'm not going to trade small caps. Like I would want to trade. I don't even know what the mid cap, like the ranges are, but I want to be in the large companies. Like I don't want to be
Yes.
swinging like small things.
You don't want to be afraid that the company's going bankrupt the next day. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
especially if
Oh,
you're
for
not a
sure.
fundamental trader, if you're not going to really look into the back end of the fundamentals, you have no business trading it. But I know, oh man, knock on wood, but I know Google is not going under tomorrow.
So one
Like
thing I will add to this, and I think a lot of my fear comes from, and why I think I've trade futures and I get turned off by like investing in swing trading. I've invested in stocks for over, I don't know, 15 years. At one point, I lost like $250,000 on 3 blue chip stocks that got shorted.
mm,
I didn't even know what shorting was. A short report came out, lost that money, and then after that, I never trusted big companies anymore. I
right.
Mhm.
started just buying small caps, and they would go up 10 times, and I would be greedy thinking they're going to go 20, not sell it at 10 times, and they're back down to, and I've had a few of them just go bankrupt on me. And so I just
Mhm.
hold on to those for tax losses. That's the other one silver lining, is that you can carry a tax loss on a stock forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
that's
say you
nice.
make no money, but 10 years down the road, you make a bunch of money. Well, then you can just claim that loss then.
Woo,
So I have
amazing.
it's well, you shouldn't. You're up anyways. You're making money. You don't
Yeah,
have you don't know
I
what
don't
you don't
have
know
to
what
worry
a
about
tax
that.
loss in stocks are. I just can't believe you've made more money than Thomas and I trading.
Well, but it's not the same. You guys made a day trading. It's
But
not the
but
same.
it's just trading. I
I
I
know.
this is and
I
this is
agree.
where I just
Mhm.
like you are a trader. Brian Shannon perfectly. Brian
Yes.
Shannon day trades SPY and swing trades Chewy or whatever.
Yes.
Like he is a great trader in that sense where he doesn't care. It's just all
Yes.
encompassed. You know, you buy and sell stocks or assets, and that's what you do.
And I do have to get better at that, not putting my identity into being a day trader, you know, because that's what I've been working for 3 years. And I've had trouble. And I remember when I like did okay, most of my money I made was on Tesla. And I even had problems writing it into my DRC to be
Mm,
like, made this much because I didn't feel proud of it because it wasn't my goal. It wasn't what I was trying to
mm.
accomplish in becoming a day trader.
The goal
That's
is to
psychology
make
messed up for you.
money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Man, well, that turned into a great conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you've left me with so much to think about because I
Yeah.
told myself at the beginning of this year I want to do more on the stock scene. I want to do more
Yes.
on that part, and you know, it's so easy to get wrapped up in trading and just like I had to shit periods, and it's like I don't. Why would I want to go swing trade? Like I'm like you know I'm just like losing money left, right, and center. But now I'm like much more even keeled about it, where it's like okay, well that's just a different opportunity, and
Yeah.
We're gonna have to bring Mr. Bruce back on
Yeah. Be like, we're
and
swing traders
get
now,
him on this
James.
conversation.
yeah. Let me
Just
one more question.
yeah.
Like roughly, like what kind of account size do you need to because it's obviously much different positioning. Like you have to
Yeah.
buy the shares of stock and you only make the percentage, so it's much different in that sense. So like if I just opened up a brokerage with $2,000, is that realistically enough to start swing trading?
I think so. You have to be very careful about what you're trading. I mean, Google's at
Well, that let's call it
172.
like 200. It's like 170 or something.
Yeah, so there's like if you go to a higher price stock, you're just looking at less shares.
Hmm.
Um, but I think you definitely can for sure. I had started out with a larger account, um, but my positions weren't like, for example, I think I about doubled my money on Tesla. So, and I had a $10,000 position in Tesla. So let's say you put like if you were in that exact same trade, you had $2,000 in it and you doubled your money. It was over a longer period of time, like a 6-month period of time.
Hmm.
Then yes, now you're at 4,000. So like it's definitely possible. I don't like, I wouldn't say that that's the norm, but
Hmm.
it's for sure possible. You just like anything, the thing I like about swing trading is I think your risk, like your upside is a little bit higher. You know, for example, on my Google position, I think I've risked about $1,200. Um, and if it gets to its previous all time high, I would have made 4R on that. So it's a 4x return
Hmm.
on something. So I think it's very possible to start with a small account for sure because you're just going to do one trade. You're not going to like have 7 trades on at a time. You're doing one trade. You might sit in that for
Well, you
even
don't
a
know
couple
me.
months.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's much slower pace. Like yeah, you could for sure start with a small account.
Cool. On that note, let's wrap it up. Anything else,
Do it.
Randy, you got to say or anything?
No, I'm gonna throw all my future stuff out the window when I get off this call and open
Let's
my
call it,
swing trading account and
is this
YOLO everything and
behind the swing trading charts
Yeah,
yeah,
podcast
there you
now?
go. There you go.
swing behind the charts.
But
Yeah.
no, comment, guys. Everybody that watches this, we'd love to get. We should
Yeah.
almost do like a mini poll, but throw some comments in the chat and kind of let us know swing trading versus futures if you have
Mm.
Yeah.
any insight or if you have a
Yeah.
preference one over the other. I'm curious to know what everybody watching this show is thinks on this conversation of doing both, doing one. You know what I mean? Doing it all.
Yeah.
So
now, two things. Now we're gonna have to get Ack on. We're gonna have to get him on the
Yes.
chat about this, and then we shout out to the listeners because we have at least like 70 very consistent listeners, and you guys
Yes.
are all appreciated and more
We
than you
love you.
know. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, let us know what's interesting to you guys that we're talking about, and why do you keep coming back? So,
And we
you
have a
know,
great guest for next week. So
yeah,
definitely come back
next
for
week's
then.
going to be a great
Yes.
episode. We got a great trading topic for next week. So, yeah, let's put a pin in it, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Bye.
Cheers.